Hello fellow hobbyists, I'm Jason and this is Level Up Hobbies. Now today on the channel I'm going to continue my Age of Darkness painting series with the Iron Warriors. So I'm going to try to take a different approach to this paint scheme, and hopefully it's one that you haven't seen over and over again already. So let's go ahead, let's jump in and start painting, and I will see you at the end.
Okay, to start off we're going to prime this guy here, black. I'm using Vallejo black surface primer through my airbrush. You can use this just regular brush on primer or Ralcam primer, whichever you prefer, as long as it's black, because we do want this color scheme to be darker, and that black prime coat will keep the layered colors over the top of that a little bit darker. So yeah, go ahead and get this painted on there and we'll move on to the next color. And now we're going to keep that dark color scheme by dry brushing on some Warp Lock Bronze. Now this is going to be a very heavy dry brush. Obviously it's going to leave some of that black in the recesses, and this will help later on by not having to really do that much of a wash. If you don't want to, you still can. But this is how I painted all of my metals like in the past. A heavy dry brush with Warp Lock Bronze. And then we're going to follow this up with a dry brush of, actually I used Iron Warriors, but you could also use Lead Belcher in this situation. Smooth, Jason, real smooth. Now again, like this dry brush is going to be very heavy. You want to cover most of that Warp Lock Bronze, but you're going to leave it in the recesses, and just the dry brushing in general kind of makes it look like the metal kind of has like little pock marks and stuff and just imperfections throughout of it. I think it looks more of like a realistic metal here. And as you can see here, this technique gives you this kind of really like used piece of metal. It's not bright and shiny. It really looks weathered and kind of beaten up a little bit, and I think it's perfect for the Iron Warriors. And now we're going to add to that weathering by painting the entire model with a thin wash made from just thinned down Agarose Dunes contrast paint. Now this is going to add just a real dirty feel to this metal, and I keep it very thin, very translucent, and I move it around the model. I don't want it to build up too heavy in any one place. If it does, I just take the brush, and kind of wipe it off, wipe it clean, and until I'm happy with the consistency here. And if you look on the two different legs, that left leg, it does have just that dirty appearance there.
Hey guys, quick interruption. If you're enjoying this video, please give me a like down below. While you're at it, subscribe, hit that bell icon, and share the video. All of this goes a long way to helping me out here on the channel. Alright, let's jump back into this video.
Alright, after that's dry, I go in with my dry brush and I actually just kind of stipple on the Iron Warriors color again, very lightly. And I don't want a lot of coverage on this, so I really clean the brush off quite a bit. And I just tap the surface, gradually building it up in areas. I don't want any one area to have just a hard, flat color. So this will make it look like there's a lot of variation in the surface metal. So like there's been, it's been bashed and dinged against, rocks and walls and everything that you can think of. And it's all left this imperfections in the metal, and this will show through. And I believe this gives it more of a realistic metal appearance. I could be wrong though. And here you can see the metal like finished. So this is a very weathered, very kind of, I don't know, just like used metal look. And I love the feel for the Iron Warriors. I think it really hits home on their style. They're not looking for some pretty armor. They want a piece of steel that they can wrap around themselves, and that's it. But yeah, so this turned out pretty good. And now I go over the model and I pick out some details that I want black. Here I chose the surfaces of the shoulder pauldrons, and then also the gun, his bolter. You can add, whatever details you want to paint black, go ahead and do it here. It adds a lot of color variation to this model and breaks up from that metal color. And now I go in and I pick out a couple more details to paint straight warp lock bronze. Now I did this just to add a little bit more color variation to the armor. You don't have to switch the metals. You can go in and paint belts and pouches just another color, just so that silver gray isn't so just over the top. It just breaks up that color a little bit more. And now it's time to officially make this guy an Iron Warrior by painting in a couple panels white in preparation for some hazard striping, because no Iron Warrior is complete without his fair share of yellow and black stripes. Prove me wrong. And of course I take the easy way out on painting yellow for hazard stripes by just using some Nasdrag yellow contrast paint. This gives you a nice dark yellow and it goes on smooth, it settles in the right places. Be careful for pooling because you can get some big orange tide marks if you're not careful about that. But as long as you're paying attention, it comes out great. And it's not a bright over-the-top yellow that I like here. And once that's dry, I begin adding the stripes themselves. And for this, I'm using a Baden black, but you can use obviously any black that you prefer. And I just use a nice pointed brush and I very carefully just sketch in the stripes. They don't have to be perfect. As long as they're close, you're really not going to tell like any imperfections in them. But if you do mess them up, all you have to do is get some Corax white and touch it up, straighten out that line, and then just run a little bit of Nasdrag yellow right over the top. And you can put the Nasdrag yellow over the black without it changing any. So don't worry about messing that up. But yeah, just go ahead, paint in these lines, and he will officially have joined the Iron Warriors Club. Now I grab some Vallejo Model Color Smoke, and I just carefully just kind of dab this kind of randomly like around the model, just kind of building up that dirt and grime feel. And it's just, I don't want it to cover the whole model. I don't want it to be super thick or anything like that. So I'm going to paint it on in specific areas, and then I'm going to clean off my brush and just move that paint around a little bit and just kind of pick it up and thin it out and just build it up in different areas, just to really emphasize that like weathered, dirty feel of the armor. But I don't want this over 100% of the armor, just bits and pieces where like maybe some grime has collected. I'm going to add the Iron Warrior symbol here on the shoulder. And lucky me, it hasn't changed in 10,000 years, so I get to use this Chaos Space Marine one on here. Wet it, slide it off, and then once that's dry, I use some microsol and just kind of just melts it, softens up that decal to where it's like a kind of a painted on finish. And then once everything is dry here, I give the entire shoulder pad a coat of gloss varnish just to lock that decal on there. Okay, I add some Eileen's tacky glue to the base and spread it with a damp old brush. And then I dip it in some Geek Gaming Scenics Arid Earth Mix. I use this for this whole series so far, and it's done. I paint the base using black and then spray it with some matte varnish, and here we have it. This guy, I really like the approach I took with the armor, layering up those different metallics. Really paid off. I think it really looks like some aged metal, but not neglected, metal yet. I think it turned out really good. I could see myself having a couple units of these painted up just as display pieces. Those hazard stripes, I think, really bring it home as the Iron Warriors. These turned out pretty good. I'm very happy with this. If you watch this video, take some of these techniques and add them to your, use them to create your own army, and leave me a comment down below. Like, tell me what you think. Tell me what you've done with them. Tell me about your own armies. That's going to be about it for today's video, guys. I really appreciate you watching these videos that I put out here. It means a lot to me. And, well, until next time, take it easy. Later.
Hey guys, thanks for joining me today as I painted up this Age of Darkness Iron Warriors model. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a like down below, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you can be notified whenever I publish new videos. Thanks again, and remember, build, paint, and play tabletop games. Later, guys.